Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Nike Adekole, and this is the Relationship Talk with Nike. Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening. Thank you very much. Today we are talking about the side chick syndrome, and I'm sure you are wondering what exactly do they have to say about this side chick syndrome. I don't think that we should shy away from it. I think we all should be willing to speak truthfully about whatever it is that is becoming something real in the society. I don't think it is time to just, be having only moral or religious conversations around it. Let's talk about it. What exactly is happening with all this side chick syndrome? And I'm going to have someone that is very, very, very vast. In fact, I think she's here already. Let me just bring her on. Good evening.
Good evening,
Good
ladies
evening.
and gentlemen.
Yes, good evening. Nice to have you on board this evening. Um, like I was saying before you came on, I said that we want to have real conversations around the issue of side chick this evening. I
Hey,
think whatever is prevalent in the society, we should talk about it, not just from a moral and religious standpoint alone, but let's just delve into the issues so that, there are people that are quick to shut down religious arguments, and there are people that are quick to shut down moral arguments. But let's just talk about it, and wherever you decide to put your feet, eventually it's your business. But at least let's just talk about it widely. So today, like I said, I'm going to be having someone very interesting. You can see already that she's showing the kind of stuff that she's made of. I'm going to be having Ola Olaleye on the show tonight. You are someone that is real and down to earth, and in fact, that's why you are here for this conversation. So you know already what we are talking about. We're talking about the side chick syndrome. So in your own opinion, what do you think the side chick syndrome is? What do you think it is?
okay, so what do I understand by the word
Side chick syndrome.
side chick syndrome? Side. First of all, who is a side chick? Because
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a slang
Yeah.
that um, that is common among Nigerians. I don't know if it's common among other African
No,
countries.
no, it's our thing.
Yeah, so it's a Nigerian slang for the the lady outside. The lady, I don't want to start. I want to say the lady. I wanted to say something that I don't know. Well, let me be me. The lady servicing
No,
the
no, no,
man
no, no. But it's a
outside
service.
of the lady rendering service to a married man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I use the word married man because there are some men in serious relationships who have people they call side chicks. But as far as I'm concerned, they are not side chicks until you put a ring on the finger of the lady that you're in a serious relationship with.
Okay.
So the lady is a side chick if she is rendering sexual services to a married man. So that's a side
Okay,
chick.
okay, okay. Well, for me, I think it's a bit broader than that. I
Hmm.
think that once you're in a committed relationship where you have decided to be exclusive, whether you are courting and and you're serious about it,
Mhm.
and this expect because there are people that are in open relationships. The world that we live in today, we have to spell out
Yeah.
everything. There are people that are in committed relationships, but it is open. They agree that it's going to be open. But once you are in any kind of committed relationship and you have sworn to be exclusive, once there's another person tagging along, the person, especially the word mostly is used for a woman, a side chick. I think it's side cockerel that is for
Okay,
for men.
I'm sure we are not gonna argue about this, but I think for me, I don't believe in the concept of open relationship.
Yeah.
So if you're not married, you're not married.
Okay.
So if there's somebody rendering service, as far as I'm concerned, both of you are side chicks until the man puts a ring on something. Because we've had people who've been in relationship for 13 years. At the end of the day, the man met somebody else and got married to the new person he met. And the one who's been in that relationship for 13 years became the side chick.
Can you? Oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. I think it's a little wider. Yeah. So, but essentially, it is someone that is rendering service to a married man.
Yes.
Essentially. Okay. So, for me, there's something that I've been thinking about, and which is, if there is no market for something, it dies naturally. And I think that the forces of demand and supply continues to strengthen this market. Where, if, for instance, a man is looking for someone outside his marriage and he doesn't find anybody, then he will rest. And if a woman is trying to trap a married man, for instance, and she doesn't get anybody, she will rest. But I think that the forces of demand and supply keeps rejuvenating this market. So for me, I think we should not shy away from the fact that this has come to stay somewhat. Even though it's a menace in the society, a lot of us have suffered from it, whether through direct consequences. Maybe it was done to you, or it was done to your mom, or done to your sister, or something. All of us, we suffered one way or the other from this side chick issue that we are talking about today. So if you would want to talk about that, what would you say about the fact that is it true that if there are no people willing to submit themselves to be side pieces, to die a natural death? Or do you think that there is a way that circumstances gets people into these things?
All right. I know I smiled at first, but honestly, thinking about it right now it saddens my heart, because the society that we live in and our culture is always quick in judging the woman.
Yeah.
So now it's the woman that is the side chick, but I know that for some women, they've been told a lie by the man.
Yeah.
And I'm a Christian, right? And I'm a woman, and I've been there. I wasn't born. I was not born again from my mother's womb, so I know what I'm talking about. Some women have been told a lie.
Yeah.
Even some side chicks don't know that they are side chicks. They actually think they are the real ones.
Yeah.
And I'm even talking about even some of the ones we have in church. I'm a Christian, so I might be referring to some things happening in the church or in the Christian fold. Even some Christian sisters don't know that they are the side chicks.
Yeah.
They've been told the lie. They've been betrayed, and some find themselves, there's no excuse for being a side chick, but when you were lied to, how are you supposed to know that you're a side chick? Another thing that saddens my heart in this, even using the term market, saddens my heart, because a woman is a gift to humanity. And if a woman can be so belittled to that point where somebody can just think, oh, I have a woman I door inside the house. I have a woman I respect inside the house, but I can use you as a spare tire.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm tired of that person in the house, I'll pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst that can happen, or what you need, what I think you need, is just money. I just give you some money, buy you this, buy you that. Then I can have what is supposed to be sacred. I can have it at my beck and call. So I think that is really belittling of our role as women in the society. And I would agree with you that if there was no high demand, I don't think there would have been any supply.
Yeah.
It's both ways. And if there is no supply, if there is supply and there is no demand for it, it
Yeah.
will die.
It's so that.
So it's both ways. I have a problem with a man who went to the altar, for those who got married in church, or you did nikai or traditional marriage, or you made a form of commitment. You met the woman's family, and all of a sudden she's no more your ride or die. Now you need somebody else to be servicing you. I have a problem with such men. And please don't blame the woman, because some of our men are
Okay.
they need conferences.
Okay. You see, there is, for me, I looked at the issue of this side chick. I tried to look at it and I came up with 3 broad categories. I'm not saying it's limited to that, but I said I just looked at it that we have 3 broad categories of women that go into, and you just introduced another one. So there's going to be different shades. There are people that don't even know that they're side pieces, but there are some people that are for them it's circumstantial. They desperately have a need. In trying to meet the need, their benefactor demand that this is going to be the criteria for which I would help you meet your needs. And for some of them, like you see that they start from that premise of I don't have a choice. But after a while, they graduate into that is what life is. You use what you have to get what you want. Because some people actually start innocently. I want to get a job. I've been trying for the past 2 years. People are suffering around me. And this job that I want to get, the man is saying I should sleep with him. Or I'm trying to get, So for some people like that, they have dire needs. Some people, we've seen a lot of movies where the ladies, maybe their parents are in the hospital or something. So for me, that is one broad category of people that find themselves doing this. Because after a while, some of them get hardened and they just continue. There is no emotion in it again for them. But there are some people too that they do this because they're trying to get ahead with their career or positioning in life. They know that if I hang out with the high and mighty, sleep with them, I will get promotions and all of that. But there is a third category, and this is for married women that suffer emotional neglect. And their husbands are never there. There's no emotional connection at all. They are just being put in the house as a piece of furniture. And for them, some of them actually come to to my practice and they don't like it. But circumstances push them into whatever it is because they've been emotionally neglected. So if you think that these categories make sense, what would you have to say for people, for these different categories of women? Because it's not, if you have ever seen someone that is a side piece, let's not pretend as if we came from heaven. If you are looking into their eyes and you are looking at them, it's difficult for you to judge someone that you know, and you know that this person has a good intention. This person is not a bad person, but it's just that circumstances of life has pushed the person here. So how would you advise people that circumstances pushed into this kind of place where they had to choose between the devil and the deep blue sea? The the rock and the hard place. They had to just do something.
That's deep because personally, I am not a judgmental person. So I don't even see from that angle at all. I won't judge anyone for their actions, but I won't also want to be politically correct. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But for the people who sometimes circumstance push into being someone's side chick, I want us to look at it from another perspective. Some of those women that their husbands are having affairs outside. Some of them, as a result of these affairs, some of them have run mad. Some of them have died as a result of the action that the circumstance pushed you into. So the consequence of your action might not affect you personally, but it's affecting another woman.
Even their children.
Is destroying some homes. So if we look at it that, oh, I'm trying to make ends meet, and I know that, look, somebody hearing me will say, it's because you've not been in that situation before. But let's leave me out of this now. I'm not going to even tell you whether I've been in that situation or not. Let's just leave me out of it. But I want us to look at it from another perspective, that I am doing something that is benefiting me. It's like robbery. You're robbing a house. You're taking goods from the house, but you're destroying that house. Even though that thing is beneficial to you, but what's it doing to somebody else? And most of the time, we look at it from just how am I going to benefit from this? And I think it's also as a result of the kind of society that we have. Our society as well is not helping at all. But there are girls who, even in that society, would rather go sell, go hawk, go and do menial jobs than to have an affair with somebody's husband. So if we look at it that, okay, there is the circumstance, I get it, one off. But when it becomes an affair, when it becomes not that the one off is good, I'm just saying, but when it now becomes, oh, how are you? You're calling somebody's husband. I'm missing you. Babe, that one is no more circumstance. You've now made it a habit. It is part of you, and your mission is to destroy that home. And I want us to also put ourselves in the woman's shoes. I'm married, and I cannot imagine a woman calling my husband at night or even in the morning. Darling, how are you? Yeah, then I'm like, oh, it's because she's going through. What's she going through that I've never been through? Do you understand? So sometimes we make excuses for bad behavior. I'm not saying that it's your fault that you found yourself in the situation, but please let that man enjoy his family and enjoy his children. Do not, because of your circumstance, destroy somebody else's home. There is nothing fashionable about being a side chick. There is nothing trendy about being a side chick. And let me tell you something. I schooled in the northern part of Nigeria. I used to live in Lagos, and I schooled in Unijos. You see the girls from Lagos, because Unijos is far from home. So those of us from the south, we understand we enjoyed, in quotes, the freedom of not having our parents Do you understand? We're really far from home. So when I'm talking here, I know what I'm talking about. Do not destroy somebody's marriage because of your circumstance. The woman is not the fault of your situation.
But really, the man that is pressuring them too, we should talk to them.
Yeah.
They are not.
No, I'm coming to the men. You know, I told you that some men are liars.
And some of them actually demand that before I help you, and I know that this person is capable of helping me, but this is the only thing standing between us.
Let me tell you something, Nikki. Our help is from God. Somebody might say, church people, they've come again. If that man does not help, somebody else will help. It's because sometimes we think, oh, it has to be this person. My help won't come from any other place apart from this person. And, you know, if that person, do you know there are men who would sleep with you, and at the end of the day, they would not do what they promised.
True.
And they will still sleep with you. They will have what they want to have. Why does it have to be your body? Why must I pay with my body because you want to give you a job?
Okay, there's a comment here that says that greed, lack of contentment, and that's from one of my big uncles. He said
we are still coming. I agree, but we are still coming. It's just that
push people to it.
Yeah, when we throw that in first, people will say, "Oh, we are being judgmental." That's why I'm coming. I'm gently, man. We are coming there because you know you said the second category are the ones who want to philamongers. We call them the philamongers. They want to proceed. They want to excel in their career. So they have to sleep with the gossip, or get a position, or ride the latest car. Some of them, they want to carry Fendi. Madam, if you destroy somebody's home, you too, somebody will destroy. And you know, Nick, I said something to you earlier, even though we didn't discuss these questions, but I said something to you earlier that most of these side chicks, they marry them eventually. They will not, and they cannot allow another side chick.
Yeah, why not? Why would they? They know how it is going now. So why would they allow another person?
So why do you want me? Why do you want me to feel okay or to pardon you for being my husband's side chick when you cannot tolerate it?
Okay, there is another thing that I want us to look at. Like I said, we are talking about the reality that is on ground.
Yeah.
I know a lot of men, especially Christian men, and I want people to pay attention. Christian men, some of them complain that sometimes they need something extra because of their mental health. Just listen. The way that
I'm listening. Which one is the extra?
The way you are doing your eyes, not showing what
I'm listening.
You are
I'm
listening skeptically.
Something extra.
Because
I'm listening.
Just listen. Because
I'm
a
listening.
lot of men complain that sometimes their wives have become ungovernable. They you know, some women believe that it's not going anywhere, he's born again. And they try to manage the relationship. And simply because they don't want to rock the boat, they just feel like, you know what, I will not divorce you. It is against Bible principles for me to divorce you. You stay there and be doing wife. Even though you don't have, they just emotionally detach.
Okay.
And they look for somebody that will give them peace.
Okay.
It's almost, in fact, there's a particular case that is coming to mind now. The lady is just something else. She has decided, she said she's not working, that she's waiting for God to give her approval to start work. She dresses stabily. Everything about her is spirit. In fact, for me, if you are looking at her from the outside, sincerely, it almost looks like she has psychosis issues, because everything is overly spiritual. And if you see the husband that we are talking about, the husband is, even in appearance, people that look holier than thou. But at a point in his life, in fact, when they got to find out that, hey, brother, something
that is doing something.
Steady girlfriend. That is, it's almost like he has a second wife. It's almost like he has a second wife. And he just knows that. And even the second wife, in fact, that's another conversation. Because that one, I don't think is a relationship again. That one is. So by the time they found out,
sorry, I didn't get what you said. That one is what? Sorry, I think a call was trying to come.
The side chick is fully aware that there's a wife at home. But the ascension, because the guy, we will not lie, the guy is a good guy. And he has some change in his hand as well. And this guy, because the wife will just not hear, everything is spiritual, everything is. And for him, he said, so before I run crazy, do you know that when he was found out in church and punishment was about to be meted, he preferred to leave the church than to stop.
Okay.
So how far do you think women push some men into these things? Let's be realistic here.
Okay, see, I would not disagree with you about some women pushing their husbands into this. Some women don't dress well anymore once they get married. Some just let go. Sometimes you see 40-year-old women looking like 70, looking like even 65. And you know, this generation, even at 60, people are still looking like 30, you know. But some women let go. That is true. Some women do, but not all. That is not,
because some people have the mentality that it's not going anywhere, it's born again.
Yeah, that's stupidity, actually. That's stupidity. You know, because your husband is born again doesn't mean he doesn't have flesh and blood.
Yeah.
So the man sees fine girls every day. Then he comes home and he will now see, I don't marry, I no care. Mama, no, it doesn't work that way. But for the example you cited, that the guy said he's not going to divorce because the Bible is against it. Is the Bible not against adultery too? Because I don't even understand. See, the reason why that man will not divorce is not because the Bible is against it, because the Bible is against adultery.
No,
the reason is because church.
Because of his children too. He doesn't want to.
Because no, it's because church. That's God hates divorce thing.
Yeah.
But God hates adultery. So we can't pick and choose. If the man is tired, it's not an excuse to go and have side chick. If you are tired, as far as I'm concerned, that man is divorced. He's not just done it on paper. Because you can't be sleeping with another woman and having a proper wife. And then you now tell us that because of my children, I don't want to divorce. Before, you have divorced already. We've not just seen the paper from the court. You've divorced, your spirit have been divorced. But sincerely, some women push their husbands into it. But also, some men enjoy it. Some men enjoy it.
Yes.
And don't tell me the woman has changed. Because I tell you, I'm going to use myself as an example. When I was dating my husband, he used to sit with me in the salon 4 hours, 8 hours. Even if I'm there 9 hours, he will be there with me. He can't do it now that we are married. Sometimes I tease him. I say, "Can you follow me somewhere?" You say no. So what changed? So I will now say, "Oh, you have changed." Me too. Before you used to sit with me in the salon, because you don't sit anymore. I'll go and look for side boy.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
There are some things that will change. I'm not saying, of course, the romance should still be there, but it might not be like it used to be there. We have seasons in marriages. We can spice up our marriages, but don't tell me that, oh, you guys agreed for family planning. You didn't want to do it as a man. The woman, the sacrificial lamb, decided to start taking pills. From a size 10, she became a size 18. And is as a result of the pills she's taking
Yeah.
because of family planning.
Yeah.
Now she's too big. So you went for a size 10 side chick. Excuse me. Then don't forget that the side chick will be sweeter because she's outside. The day you bring her to the house, that's when you will know. And tell her to start taking pills like the one at home and see whether she too will not become a size 22. So some of these things, we can't just say, we can't discuss it in isolation because there are dependencies. Let's use my project management.
Okay, there's another angle that I want to bring into this. What advice would you have for side pieces? Trust me, there are ladies that are being well taken care of by their married lover. And I'm saying well taken care of. There are so many men that are in that category of people that believe that they married the wrong person, people that maybe they're also being stressed by their wives, and really and truly they want peace. And they get someone that could fit the picture of, whether we like it or not, a second wife. And they are rolling with that person, taking good care of the person, emotionally present with the person. Some of these girls, by the time you meet them and you're telling them that what you are doing is wrong, they can't see it because, see, no young man is willing to do the level of the level of commitment that I have from this man. I've not seen it from any single person. So for somebody like that, if it is not a religious conversation, you are not making sense. The only grounds where you can make sense is when you are talking of a religious conversation. This is a sin or something. But if you look at it, this person is emotionally present with me. He believes that his marriage is a mistake. And everything that I should have. Some of them, they buy them cars. They do every single thing for them. The only thing they don't have is the ring on it. And so for you to be trying to convince somebody like that, that's already she's emotionally secure, her needs are being taken care of, how do you begin to tell this kind of person that you are in the wrong? She's the one that is be telling you that it's the wife that is wrong.
Okay.
He's the one that is not giving him peace. And me, I am the peace, I'm the peacekeeper. I'm the one that is giving you peace. So how do you begin to talk to somebody like this if it is not a religious conversation?
Honestly, when you say the person is even taking care of her, the way you emphasize it, taking, I know because of your practice, you've seen and heard so many. Okay, well, because of the kind of society we live in, and I'm referring to Nigeria, because of the society, a lot of us have grown with, whether we admit it or not, poverty mindset.
Yeah.
So when a man dangles car keys, he's finished, he's taking care of me. When he buys you house, you that your parents, you grew up in face me, I face you. A man now decided, bought you a building in Lekki or Banana Island. What else do you want? What kind of prayer? God has sent your destiny helper now, especially if you are even a church person.
Yeah.
And pastor said, as you get home, you will see a lot, miracle alert. Then the married lover sent you one M. The annoying thing is the pastor that prophesied did not say he is not from a married man. No, they'll just tell you miracle alert. Then your married lover will send you 1 million naira. That's the miracle alert. You just know that this person is my destiny helper. But on a more serious note, see the system. This is not religious talk. I'm just gonna be frank here. But I don't know how well a man can tell you the truth. The Yoruba people would say anyone who takes side when two people are disagreeing and you hear the story from one person from one side and you take side, that you are foolish or something. I think that's what they say. Definitely, if you hear the woman's side of the story as a side chick, what I would advise, if a man comes to you and say, this woman doesn't give me peace, this woman is this, before you decide to be the peacemaker, why don't you hear from the woman? I know of a man, first wife is bad, second wife is bad, third wife is bad, but the side chick is okay. The reason why the side chick is okay is because the side chick has not started living with him. There is no commitment. So even side chick would think she's the one involved because there's no commitment. When you start living with someone, my husband used to say something to me. When I tell him, okay, there was one time I told him my friend was coming to stay with me. He said, the only thing he told me, said, come and live with me is come and fight with me. Yoruba people will say, okay, Loretin, is that how they say it? So when we are not living together, our friendship will be superb. But once we start staying together, that's when you will know that she snores. She doesn't do the laundry. He's boxers. He wears boxers for 1 week. When you start staying together, so you start seeing things that will be irritating. But as long as you're outside, you won't see it. And for you, man, that girl, she's the neatest, she's the best cook, she's this, because you people you are not in the same space. Once you start staying in the same space, you will understand. And girl, what that man is buying, some men take care of side chicks, but they don't take care of the women in the house. The woman in the house is suffering. The woman in the house cannot collect 1,000 naira from him, but he can give you 100K. Because you are still outside. Once you move in, you will see the truth color, because he will start spending money on another side chick. So, Nick, I don't even think, honestly, I don't know how best to say it. Well, I don't think there is any justification for you destroying somebody else's home. That's the way I see it.
For me, there's something that you said earlier that I think that we should lay emphasis on. And if I want to recap properly, it is the idea of success that we have. A lot of us view material things and forget the things that we are losing. Even if it is not cash that you are losing, there is something that you are losing in that exchange. because it's an exchange. You may not
Yeah.
be able to monetize it, but there's an exchange. There's something that someone said some time ago that got my attention. The person said, whatever you compromise on, you would never be bigger than that thing. Whatever.
It's
So
true.
if somebody gives you a car, and if a car and a house can buy your loyalty and can shift your belief system, it means that you will never be greater than that thing. There are people
Yeah.
that submit to such things, and later they discover that I had the capacity to even do more. But that thing that was striking their eye it was big in their eye. And so
Yeah.
for me, that is really instructive that you said that the way we
Sorry.
discuss, the way we
Define
perceive success
success.
and define
Yeah.
success is a bit
Yeah.
faulty. There is
Yeah.
something that you are bringing to the
The
table
society.
that might not be material. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also would like to say that even some of the side chicks, they go through things, they go through emotional torture. Because sometimes when we paint it, it looks like it's all rosy as a side chick.
Yeah.
Some go through domestic abuse.
Yeah.
This money bags in quote beats, and you're still putting up with him because he gives you money.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So the society has really affected our mindset and the way we reason, the way we think, the way we define things, and even the way we see ourselves. That
Yeah.
I am bigger than material acquisition. And
Yeah.
I say to people that, look, I love good brands. Don't get me wrong. I will do a good brand, but I'm not crazy about brands because I'm the
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
So if I wear a Gucci dress, I'm not all about Gucci. And that's a problem with a lot of, I don't know of any other African country. I'll talk for Nigeria. That's a problem with a lot of girls in this generation, a lot of young people, that we do not want to go through process.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people see you today, Nike, they see you, they see what you have achieved. You're almost 50. People look at you, they look at your marriage. Your marriage is over 20 years. They look at your marriage, and a girl of 20 wants to have what you have.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
She wants to have your kind of practice. She wants her husband to be like you. Excuse me, when you met Bros,
Mm.
he was not like this.
Yeah,
So they
it
want
was
to have
not as refined.
yes, they want to have your kind of husband. Yeah, it has to be like that. There is always a process, and because we have the wrong perception about life and perspective on um how we define things, we define marriage, how we define success. Oh, our husband is taking care of her. Our husband is a good man because our husband dishes our money, but our husband beats her.
Yeah, yeah.
But it doesn't matter because they live in Lekki. It matters. What's the benefit of living in Lekki with black eye every two days?
Okay, there's also one part that I also want you to address. There are some, and I want you to like this one now. I want you. How would you speak to both husband and wife? There are instances, I see them in my practice. There are instances where men complain of the gets too familiar with everything that I do. And that sometimes I just want her to be like a baby. Because one man was actually saying this, that one of the things that takes him back to the side chick is that the girl, young though, when you spend 100,000 on her, 200,000, she's all joy. She's jumping. Hey, thank you. Oh, she's excited. She's jumping around. She's feeling like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to turn my waist up? Do you want me to turn it down? Anything you want,
What
you know, and she's excited. But your wife spent 5 million on her. Is still the normal. Do you pay fees, pay for rent, pay everything in their millions, and it is still normal that
yeah.
have you paid rent? The children's school fees 3.5. You know, and no excitement, no that it is just that there's something about watching a young girl blossom, watching a young girl become happy, excited, doing little things for them. But with the big things that you are doing, you are still feeling insufficient in your marriage. How do you speak to that?
Well, even God has a problem with people who are not grateful.
Mm.
So it's a conversation the man has to have with his wife. It's, you know, honestly, Nikki, there shouldn't be an excuse for infidelity.
Yeah.
If if your wife is ungrateful, it's a conversation you have to have with your wife. What if you didn't have an option of a side chick? What would you have done?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
telling me that because the girl jumps around, because the girl shows gratitude, I understand that. How did you even find out that the girl will be grateful?
Mm.
How did you find out
It's by
that she will
practice.
be eh?
It's by practice. They have learned.
Yes. So how did you find out that the girl will be grateful? You were already in the act before you discovered that the girl will be grateful.
Mm.
So it's a conversation he has to, and you would know better on this one about counseling, you know. It's a conversation you have to have with your wife. And probably he's done some things in the past, because sometimes women don't just react like that.
Yeah.
The woman might even know that he spent a lot outside too. So
Mm.
when he's spending in the house, she goes, I would rather you spend here, because I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I know someone who told me, look, I will look for things he will be spending his money on in this house so that I won't spend it outside.
Yeah. And I think guys should know that thing, that ladies is a form of revenge.
Yes,
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So she knows that you're spending money outside. So even if she will be looking for how to help you, she'll go and source for
Change the
things
school
that you
friend
can
school
pay
fees,
for.
school to a more expensive one. Maybe you want to spend money.
Spread, honestly. So if we hear from the guy, I know that some women, some people, and even men can be ungrateful. Some people can be ungrateful. But generally speaking, don't just look at your wife that, oh, she's ungrateful, she doesn't appreciate what I'm doing and all that. That
Yeah.
might be it for real, but have that conversation. But if you've done something in the past, she might just be playing back,
Yeah.
revenge to say, hey, so since you want to start spending money, I will help you spend it.
Okay, so what do you speak to people that have polygamous backgrounds? People that have polygamous backgrounds already, and you know they don't see anything wrong in polygamy. I only told you to shift. I didn't say you should stand up. You know, that and
I
some
don't
people
want to
when they
shift.
argue about it, they talk about it like, okay, my own mom is a second wife, and it was better for her to be a second wife than for her to be prostituting. And I don't see anything wrong in being a second wife to someone. So far, those are your choices. People talk about it as if it is a life choice. What do you have to say about, you know, people just getting to the place where you just accept that, okay, instead of continuously quarreling with my husband or anything, let me just know that, okay, this has come to stay, and just endorse it.
Well, for me, this is my opinion. I'm too good. I'm too solid to be a second wife. In fact,
Yeah.
my personality is so strong that I don't even know if I'll be able to. Well, it's too late now, though.
Mm.
But I believe that some people say religion
Mm.
I'm from a Muslim family, and my dad grew up a Muslim, but my dad was not a polygamist.
Mm.
And what the Quran says is not marry four wives like some people say. It says if you can love them equally,
Mm-hmm.
which is impossible for human.
Yeah.
You can't love anybody equally. It's
Mm.
impossible. So if the woman chooses to be a second wife, if it's a choice, some people just find themselves in that position. Like I said about men, I know of a lady who got married to a pastor, right?
Mm.
And the pastor lied to her. The pastor didn't tell her he had a wife.
Mm.
The pastor gave her the impression that he had he had two children, but there's no relationship between him and the woman.
Yeah.
So she got married to the man, but later discovered that the guy was legally married.
Mm.
In that kind of situation, she was already in the marriage. She had children for the man. I, as far as I'm concerned, that was no marriage because it was based on deception. But it's her
Yeah.
choice if she wants to stay. I can't advise her to leave or not. But for somebody who decides that this is where I'm going, oh, my own choice is to be a second wife, I can't help your situation. As far as I'm concerned, choosing to be a second wife when there is a woman in that house, I don't know how you feel seeing another woman in pain. I don't care if the woman says, I am Igba, Igba, all of that. I don't think any woman wants to share a man, but
Yeah.
some might not have a choice. They might think, oh, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
Especially with our background of, you can't leave your children. No, you can't leave your children. You've had children for him. And some men find themselves in that situation where maybe the first wife didn't have any children.
Yeah.
They desperately need children. They now decided to take a second wife.
Yeah.
I, I don't know. You are the counselor. I don't know what to say to that. But
It's
I
a
thought it
life
was for
choice.
better, for worse. I thought the vow was for better, for worse. But if the worst is on the woman's side, maybe you know. But if the work is on the man's side, they'll say, Aforitini, Aforitini. So the society is one-sided, honestly, in favor of men than the women. Sorry, we have questions.
Okay, okay. So what are the questions? I've not seen.
Hey, oh, this one, Moses Jerry.
Okay, do not destroy another person because of your circumstance. I agree we can never leave out the God factor. Exactly the. If you want to ask questions, you can please just we can add you.
There's a question here. Let me read it.
Okay.
What will you say about Isaiah 4:1? In that day, 7 women will take hold of one man and say, we will eat our own food, take away our disgrace. I would like to know your thoughts.
Okay.
Okay, if you read that, that wasn't, if you go back and read that in the context it was written, that wasn't prophesying that that's what was going to happen. It was saying the that Israel, God was letting them know what's going to happen to them with the way they were going.
Yeah.
Because
It was.
Israel had already forgotten God. They
Yeah.
started following other gods. The other gods were gods who allowed all sorts of rubbish. So it was not God saying, oh, there will be shortage of men, no. So Nike, Ola, will marry you.
Yeah.
No, God was just saying, with this thing that is happening among you, you guys, after a while, 7 women will start following one man
Yeah.
because of the kind of atrocities you people will be committing. So let's read scripture in context.
Yeah. I think it was a precautionary message that
Yeah.
this is going to be your
So,
doom if you don't akin. Today has been very, in fact, I'm not sure we have exhausted the conversation, but somehow it's all, we're already 1 hour here, so maybe we just have to go. Probably I need to reconvene because we have entered into another level now. We are beginning to talk about second wife syndrome now, inside the side chick syndrome. Because, but for the side chick, what are your last words concerning side chicks? Whether they are there through emotional neglect as married women, whether they are there as circumstances push them to, what would be your final advice, for them?
inwards, you're more than where you are right now. Just look inwards. Even if the man is your supplier, you're still more than what you can get from him. Honestly, you are more than where you are. You are more than this.
Yeah, yeah,
Just sit down and meditate on those words. You are more than this. You're more than being a spare. You're more than being. You're more than where you are. Sincerely, I can't. I can't even imagine a beautiful lady, just being kept somewhere and,
being
and
assessed whenever they need
yeah,
you. Yeah,
honestly, it's sad. Then some are used by prominent people, people who have platforms,
yeah,
promise you so many things in the secret. They tell you they love you in the secret, but openly
they deny you.
they are eulogizing another woman. I just can't get my head around it. They are openly saying, oh, this woman, blah, blah, blah. They will say us that. Then later on, they will come to you in the secret and tell you all sorts of lies. You are more than that. You are really, really more than that.
Yeah, I think from me as well, I would want to say that there is a lot that you carry that, like I said earlier, that the exchange is not just, even if they carry out all the financial promises and the material promises that they promised you, I think um, for people that have eyes that are not myopic, they know that there is an exchange. You are exchanging a bright destiny on the altar of materialism today. Trust me, your hands can work, your hands can produce a lot more than anybody can ever give you. And even if it does not, there is something that dignity does to you that we should begin to relish in this time and age. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna say one. I just remembered a story, and I think I shared that story with you earlier today.
Yeah.
Someone very close to me who was in a relationship with a married man. She was in that relationship for God knows how long. The man sent her to school. The man did all sorts of things, sent her to uni. The man didn't plan to marry her. There was no plan. She was just a side chick. And at the end of the day, she wanted to marry, but the man never had plans to marry her. She ended up getting married at about almost 50.
Hmm.
Almost 50. So the man, apart from the waste of time, you know, she
Hmm.
didn't eventually marry the man. She married somebody else. And do you know, Nike, do you know some women actually pray? They will be praying that the woman in the house should die
Right.
so that
Yeah.
they can move in.
They can take over.
So there is nothing good about it. No
Yeah.
matter how we want to quote it,
Yeah.
there is nothing good about it. Because people go the extreme. sometimes they go into jars, they do
Yeah.
all sorts
Yeah.
to cast a spell on the woman in the house. Woman that has not done you anything apart from the fact that her husband carried himself to you.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody you should be killing, it should be the man, not the innocent woman.
Yeah. 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 So Olarotimi said, so sorry to say this, but many ladies love the side chick status, not wanting to leave it because they have no future plan for themselves, and for the man, it is a thing of the mind. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think
That's true.
that's a very beautiful contribution. And there's one last thing that you said that I just want us to bring to the fore before we call it quits this night. You said that there are seasons in marriage. There are seasons in marriage. There are times that to be exciting. There are times that it looks like it's not as exciting. All we need to do is to put in more work. It's not time to begin to look for side pieces, whether male side piece or female side piece, because there are also women, married women, that look for people to just console them. There will be seasons where everything looks like, oh, I can't do without you, and there will be seasons, if we are being truthful to ourselves, I will just wish that you will just die. And just free me so that I can be free again. But in all seasons, we should know that the seasons come and they go. And depending on the work we are willing to put in as married people, our marriages can be saved instead of just looking for options to explore when the season is not as nice as it should be. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
being here this evening. Thank you so much for all the wealth of wisdom. Thank you for being real. And thank you for, and next time when we call on you, I hope you will be here. And to everybody that joined us, thank you.